I'm joined here with Rue Brie now, the developer of
Bluster.
Bluster.
I,
Okay.
I just posted in the forum in your Discord,
Oh, okay,
or you
okay.
can find it by name. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not that many games called Bluster.
No,
There you
that's
are.
it.
Yes. Let me make sure that I properly represent your name with the snowflake. Let's see.
Yep.
Okay. Profile. Let me just see if your whole name will post.
Sure.
Your viewing. Nope. But the snowflake does remain, so that is good. And your game is Bluster. Do you have a start screen that we can linger on?
Yes. There's like a main menu screen.
Okay, very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and download that. Download, yes. A raw executable, huh? Am I safe? Am I in danger here?
I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Knock
yeah.
on wood.
Yes, yes.
Like I said, I'm very safe with files, and I only got worried after I played a few other games.
Yeah.
I'm generally very, very safe with files, but I was building a web version of this, and like I've never built something for web before, and uh, it I got it working exactly on the minute that the extended deadline was done, like
Oh,
exactly on that
geez.
minute. I don't know. I heard that you can link to a web version on your profile, but I don't want to do that without more confirmation that it would be okay.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, BigMode Ben mentioned that someone mentioned that
Someone
BigMode Ben
mentioned that they
mentioned.
said it. Yeah, I
Yeah. I'll post that in here, but we may want to confirm with BigMode Ben.
yeah, exactly. Um, well, I'll definitely address the point in the chat. Someone said like that they didn't find the game rage inducing. Like, why is it called rage platformer? And I can definitely address that.
Okay, okay.
Um, so first of all, like in the post that I just made, I explained that of course I'm an aspiring game developer,
Yeah,
and this is my first game jam,
that's awesome.
and I I did all of the game design and development. I did not make the assets.
Okay.
I only made one single snowflake asset. I basically I'm not a visual artist usually, and yes, I did properly acquire and credit all the assets.
Okay.
Um, so this game jam really called to me, and I'll explain. So I've been thinking about getting into game design since I was a child.
Mhm.
I was really inspired by Roberta Williams, who wrote like the King's Quest series of games way back, in the 1800s when I was a child. And
Oh, yes, yes, of course.
and yeah, she's legendary. She created all these really early, amazing for their time point and click adventures, and I was like, when I grow up, I want to do this. And when I was young, I did get into programming. I learned on an Apple II, and I did write some simple games when I was in high school for projects and stuff like that, like text adventure games and things like that. Um, and then I ended up getting a degree and working as a software engineer, and uh, and going to grad school and all that stuff. So I've been a software engineer for more than 20 years.
Nice.
And I just I don't know, a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago at least, I found out about Godot, and I realized that I wanted to make a game in Godot because it really called to me. Like it was like I liked that it was open source, and even though I prefer C# in theory to like the script, and also what Solus said about the object-oriented programming, that's also a legitimate complaint. But
Mm.
Godot just has a cool philosophy, and it just felt right. So I wanted to do that. And I actually didn't do it though, because I was so stressed out, busy working all week. I didn't want to also program on the weekend usually. And um, but I watched videos here and there over the years. And about a week before I started working on the game jam, I started actually writing code in Godot. So I've only been working in Godot now for like 2.5 weeks or something.
Right, right.
And so I started writing actual code, and I had made a promise that I would get into game design this year because I got laid off from my job last year. And I had the same job for 15 years to the day, and I loved my job. It was amazing. But I got laid off, and I was like, well, I have to decide, am I going to try to do game design or not? So yeah, so I started coding, and I was working on a card game. And this is really cool. This is like the really big, like serendipitous part. So I was working on a card game that's totally different than Bluster for only a week. Okay. And then I was like brainstorming some ideas for potential games that I'd like to make. Cause I was like, I'd like to make games of various different types, including a platformer. Cause I love Nintendo and Super Nintendo and stuff.
Right.
And I thought of making a platformer where everything is really slippery and calling it slick. And I talked to someone about this, and I wrote it down even like a few days before the game jam, but I didn't work on it. It was just brainstorming. And then I was in a Godot chat. I think it was a Godot chat, and I met this really cool group of people that were working on a game. It was 4 people. They were really talented. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the name of their game. I don't know what the name of the game ended up being. I haven't seen them again. But they had 2 programmers and an artist and a musician who were all really cool and really nice. They were making a game about like a fighting, like a top-down sort of like action adventure with rollerblades or something. And I was like really envious. I was like, I really wish I could, be on this team, but they don't know me, so I'm not gonna like ask them. And I was like, and then I was like, what's the theme of the game jam? And they said it was slick, and I was like, okay, that's crazy. That's like. That feels like a force, like a portent, or like, I guess a portent sounds negative, but almost like like I saw it coming in a way. Like I realized that I had to stop what I was doing and see what I could do in a week.
Right.
And by the way, this was after the game jam started. There was only a week left. Actually, I think it was 8 days left. So yeah, so that's what I did, and I got very little sleep. On the last day, I stayed up for 33 hours and straight. And I don't usually do that. When I was younger, I did. But like, yeah, it was very hard. But like, I really wanted to put something out there that could be fun to play and replay. And this is where the rage game aspect comes in, and I'll explain. So I wasn't necessarily going to make the long-term game if I developed this game further. I wasn't necessarily going to have it be a rage game, or maybe it'll have a rage mode, but it was going to be like a different type of platforming game. And I have some ideas about that. But because the game jam scope is so short, I figured it would be like funny and replayable if you would lose all of your potential to earn score every time you lose a life. And so you basically have to start over every time you die. And to try to score like a high score would be extremely hard. And I think I made a mistake publishing the game with Storm Intensity 1 as the default, because my thought there was that Storm Intensity 1 would help someone get introduced to the controls, because in this game, everything is slippery. So the controls are a little slippery, So I was like, with Storm Intensity 1, they could get used to the controls and it wouldn't be too awful, right? But like, I think you don't really see what makes the game special unless you play at a higher Storm Intensity. Like, that's where the game shows like what it actually is. And so I probably should have just chosen a higher one, because many people may not have even got to there. They may not have even they might have gotten sick of it after 10 minutes and then didn't try a higher one. But I highly recommend that we can try one to start, but I think we should also try a higher one
Okay.
as we go.
Okay.
So you said a lot about how it sort of like lined up auspiciously for you, but how did you actually find out about the gem?
Well, I was in a server, and
it was in that conversation, right? Okay.
I believe it was a Godot server.
Okay.
It may not have been. I'm in like several game design servers, so I think it was a Godot server, and like I met this like awesome group of people. They were super chill, like really cool. I hung out with them all night, and I had a really good time. They told me all about the game they were making, and like they told me all about the game jam. They were super excited, and I got really like envious. I was like, wow, I wish I could do this. Like, this is amazing. And you know, I've got a lot going on right now. I don't necessarily have time for a game jam because I'm actually in the process of moving to Germany.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Vermont,
Mhm.
and I'm moving to Germany in like 5 months or less.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a lot of stuff to do. But when I found out that the game jams theme was slick, it was just like it was like a premonition. I had
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, definitely auspicious. So how does your game represent Slick? This is a retro rage platform about howling winter wind. Every surface is in this surreal forest is slippery. And let's see here. Yeah, you how did you actually wait, no, okay, that makes sense.
What?
Blus-
Do you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
I'll read it. Bluster is a
Okay.
retro rage platform with a howling winter wind. Play as a lovely squirrel or raccoon in this real forest where every surface is slippery. Score points at the end only if you make it across on the same life in which acorns are collected, presenting a repeatable challenge. Be sure to try out a higher storm intensity to reveal the mechanic that truly makes this game unique. These also add a score multiplier for those who conquer the storm. For those who... Oh, but will you be able to endure the blustration? Supports controller recommended or keyboard left right handed. Make sure you use your dash controller trigger to go faster and jump much higher. Press escape to exit the game, then relaunch to select different options. Thank you for playing my first game ever. Gem entry. Comments training is opened. Yes. Okay, good. I have a
I
controller.
saw that you got hung up because there was like a typo in there. I'll fix that.
Yeah, no worries.
No big.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So do you recommend us start at storm intensity 1?
I think we should. I think we should start on 1. That's why I set it to that, because it'll give you like a quick introduction. And of course, there's also, if you're curious about the controls, there's controls and there are credits. A few people asked me if I made all the assets, and I was like, well, there's a credit screen, and it's there.
Mm. Oh bother! I sense a storm coming on. I better get home before I'm frozen solid. This is my home. It's all the way on the far side of the forest. I'd hope to collect more food. I'll have to try to find some along the way. All right. Well, I'm a little raccoon. That's cute. So, you said that you were specifically looking to make a game like this, if I understand correctly, right?
Well, I wasn't setting out to make a rage game per se, but on the short time frame that I had, I thought that would work.
Okay.
But yes, I wanted to make my brainstorm about a platformer was to make a platformer where everything was slippery, or almost everything.
Yeah.
And I also wanted where you play like cute forest creatures, because I feel like that's kind of underrepresented actually in games.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a place where we have tons of squirrels on my porch. We feed them with like wild animal food, and they're lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And Germany doesn't really have like that type of squirrels, and they don't have raccoons, so that's or very few of them if they do. I don't know. They're rare.
Right.
And like I'm gonna miss them. They're lovely. We have raccoons here too, though I don't see them as often.
Yeah, American woodland creatures are very...
Bears unite. That's what someone said in the chat. Wash bears unite. That's like the word in German for a raccoon is a wash bear, because they wash their food.
Yeah. There's the
and
famous...
I wanted to make a Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to make a game about raccoons that was not about trash, because I feel like most games about raccoons are about trash. And like, yeah, that's a funny joke, but like raccoons are lovely, and I think they're only eating trash because
yeah, it's human
because
interaction.
they're kind of in their habitat, and like they eat that because there's nothing else sometimes. Right. And like they're really lovely animals. But the game is mostly designed currently, at least, around the squirrel, and it's because there aren't many games where you play like a cute little squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are games where you play like a cartoony squirrel, but that's not what I was going for.
Yeah.
And positive raccoon representation. That's right.
Yeah, raccoon's really cute. There's that famous video of the raccoon trying to wash its like cotton candy, and then it just dissolves instantly.
Oh yeah, I love that. There's another one too where like there are these cats eating out of a bowl of food, and
Yeah,
this raccoon like saunters up like nonchalantly, like goes up to the food bowl and then
yeah,
starts
just
hissing at the
grabs it.
cats, and then grabs a bunch of food and runs away on two legs.
I literally witnessed that happen in real life. There was like this guy who fed a bunch of stray cats, and there was just raccoons eating out of their bowls, and the cats were just standing around watching. And I was like, "Yo, get the hell away!" And then I tried to shoo them away, and then they got out of the way, and then the moment that I left, they just came back. Yeah,
Wow.
it's very silly, but yeah, raccoons are cute. Funny story actually. So my mom is from the Philippines, and they don't have squirrels in the Philippines. So when she first came here, like she didn't understand. Like it was the first time she saw snow. She was like, "Why is all this dust like collecting outside?" And then she like saw a squirrel and she thought it was like a flying monkey. So
Oh my god.
yeah, American woodland creatures are very cute, and also very like friendly under certain circumstances. So I guess that's a lot. That's like a lot of animals, honestly. Like humans can pack bond with anything.
Yeah. It's like why is there so much dust outside? And I hear that, and I hope it's not a nuclear winter. But
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm obsessed with snow. In case you haven't figured that out by like everything about my
yeah.
profile and everything else. And
Yeah, Rue Snowflake Brie.
yeah, and I live in a place that gets a lot of snow currently. Unfortunately, the area I'm moving to the Black Forest, and that area gets a lot less than here. At least they get snow, but here is like, you know, one of the some sites say that Vermont has the highest average snowfall of any state, even more than Alaska, according to these sites. But I don't know if that's actually true.
It could be because there's like frozen deserts, right? Like without precipitation at all. So I don't
Right,
know about.
exactly. I was thinking the average, yeah, might take into account very snowy areas and then places that are on the coast or whatever that don't get snow. And like you said, there might be like areas that are dry.
Yeah. Ah, well, it's fine. But
So yeah, as you can see, it's not as especially if you're used to platformers. The first level is not very like it's not a rage game really. Though it's still a rage game in the sense that if you want to score a lot of acorns and you die, you lose them all. So that was done intentionally just to make it replayable for the jam.
I guess I kind of don't understand why I am either forced to jump or I don't jump sometimes.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like I'll land on something and then I'll instantly jump. And
Oh,
I'm not
probably
pressing
you're
anything.
pushing up. You're probably pushing up on the joystick.
Okay, there's up. There's
So
up.
I put in lots of different controller options because I'm somewhat handicapped in real life. I'm very sensitive about, about being, you know, helping out
Right.
people who have special needs because I do.
Yes.
I use foot pedals to help me play games sometimes. Like I can use hands, but I if I'm playing for like a long time, the foot pedals help. So in my game, I put like lots of potential controls so you can find something comfortable. Because I didn't have time to put in like key remapping. So
Right.
so yeah, you can push like up on the D-pad or up on the joystick or up arrow or W or spacebar, all jump.
What is this animation?
Which one?
I'm like. Wait, am I streaming right now? You?
Yes, I can see
Oh,
it.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, this like I'm laying down. It's cute.
It looks to me like it looks like two things, and I kind of use it for both. Like when the raccoon is resting, it looks kind of like when a cat kind of feels for like a soft place to lie.
Yeah.
But also because of the ice, sometimes the animals like start sliding, and you're not running; it's just sliding. And I use that animation when you're sliding. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, this is one of the areas that I'm kind of confused at because maybe it was because it was windy, but I couldn't jump. I suppose.
Another thing though is that it's really important to know about the. Okay, wait. I'll let you watch this.
Can't believe I made it home. My bones were getting pretty frosty. It's time to warm up the nest and share some of these morsels I found. Hooray! Wait, where'd I go?
That's you won this level, so this is like the victory screen.
Oh, okay. I built up the nest and now I'm not in the snowstorm at least.
Yeah, and the snowstorm is like pleasant afterward.
It is glorious seeing really big snowflakes. I spent 26 years in Australia where Christmas is 45 plus degrees and moved to Denmark and it feels cozy. Oh.
Yeah, I bet.
Press any key to
So
get
yeah, if you
your
press
score.
any key here, you'll get a score, and it's based on the acorns times like a multiplier based on the storm intensity that you chose.
Making a lot of use of the turbulence of the particles, I see. Very cool.
Yes, and that's what I want to show you. So like once we go back, it says here the storm grows ever stronger, and then after finishing the level, when you go back to the main screen, it'll go up by 1. So you started on 1, it'll be at 2. But if you want to show off the storm mechanic, I would recommend, you know, for the stream's sake, like to choose a higher level just to try it out.
Okay.
Like maybe like, you know, 6 or 10.
Okay.
Or 7.
Okay, 7.
Sure.
Rue Brie killed it with a delo and on seriously want to pick your brain about some of the systems. Yeah, so how was the coding side of things? Like, did you come up against any challenges?
For sure I did. Lots of them, because I'm very new to Godot. Even though I've watched a lot of videos, I've never coded in Godot before. But I am a software engineer, you know, with a lot of experience solving problems. So that really, you know, is why I was able to do it. And I like a good challenge too.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Alright.
See, this is where I think the game would be a really fun game to watch on a stream, because it's funny and it is kind of like, you know, a rage game because you have very little control. And there's a multiplier for how many acorns you get. So if you could collect like all the acorns on like the highest level, you'd get the max score, but good luck doing that.
Right. I did get teleported. Oh, there we go. Dang, I made so much progress. I could have gone so far.
Yeah, so the wind is the first mechanic I worked on after, you know, getting the characters to be able to run and stuff was the wind and the snow, because that was like the core thing I wanted in this game. My vision for the game, my first vision for the game was to have like a storm that really feels like a storm. It's like comforting, it's beautiful, but it's also like, you know, a force of nature that is powerful and really sweeps you away. And the storm, the wind gusts are very realistic. They have randomness in like when they start and how much of a directional change they have based on the storm intensity.
Yeah, and it like interpolates to the direction and everything.
Yep. Yeah, the directional change from the previous wind gust, yeah. And then like how strong they are, and then there's like a period of build-up, a period of decay, and a period of strong, a maximum intensity, and then a decay period in each gust.
Oh.
Also, the sound of the wind like picks up and falls too to match. Also, every level of storm intensity has a different wind sound.
Okay. A different wind sound, like you have like a series of sounds that you prepare for that.
Well, I didn't create the assets, but yes, I collected the assets. You know, that I had bought these assets on a Humble Bundle a long time ago because I wanted to get into game design, and it came with like a bunch of wind sounds, and I used like pretty much all of them. I used like most of them.
Mike says this game really comes together at high wind intensities. And right, Solus is asking what's the hardest bug you had to fix.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that question. I don't know the answer, but I can say I'll think about it as we're talking, and maybe I'll have an answer by the end. But one bug that I fixed shortly before the end, and I'm glad I did, was that there was one, like, you see these purple flowers that sometimes appear? There are more of them later in the level. There are like there's like a whole bunch of foliage on some trees that look like that, and one of them was marked as a spike. And so like I was like walking through the tree and you just randomly die, and I'd be like, wait, did I have a spike in there? But no, it was because there was a bug there, and that was a pretty nasty bug.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I didn't have too many really nasty bugs though. I tend to squash bugs pretty quickly. I mean, I've dealt with some really nasty ones in the past.
Yeah, the squirrel's flying. Oh no. No. Not the spikes. Actually, I might be stuck in this while the wind's going.
While the wind's blowing, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna if I develop this game further, which I hope to do, knock on wood,
Yeah.
I definitely am going to put in more tools that you can use against the wind and so on. It's supposed to be much more comprehensive than this.
Okay,
I
okay.
might put in like I said, a rage game
Oh.
mode, but it wouldn't be like the primary game.
Oh god. Oh, okay.
Honestly,
We made it.
so Solar said it's the logic bugs that give you the most pain, but like I I find the logic bugs a little easier to fix. For me, it's like the ones that are hard for me are like knowing how the nodes fit together and how to use the engine correctly. Because I'm used to like seeing everything in like a code listing. So like to have some things on like various places in the UI and like choosing the right nodes and understanding how they're going to act with each other is like, the most bugs that I had to deal with were like a bit of trial and error with nodes.
Yeah, I usually try to target a weak point of mine whenever I'm doing a jam. And even with as many jams as I have under my belt now, control nodes still haunt me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Yeah, I had all these weird things like where if like sometimes like nodes would automatically get this weird negative offset of like 500 or I remember one thing that I fixed that was a little challenging. And this is probably the hardest thing I fixed actually. It was that when I was early developing the game, I had some really cool snow and wind effects done, but it would blow all the snowflakes off the screen. And then like it would be way more sparse and there wouldn't be enough snowflakes coming back to like replace them. And I didn't want that. So I tried all different things. I tried like putting emitters in like all four corners of the screen. Like I tried like having it emit for 15 seconds before the beginning and then have four extra emitters like on all four sides in case some get blown away. But it looked really awkward and it never really worked right. And the way that I actually fixed it was to expand the field in which it emits like by a lot and expand the number of snowflakes by a lot. So it's actually snowing on a much larger area than what you see.
Okay.
Also I fixed it by setting the snow onto like a foreground layer so the snow doesn't actually move with the map.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the most challenging thing I remember doing here.
Yeah, so you set the particles to local coordinates, basically.
Yeah, I put them on like a canvas layer that's in front of the rest of the game.
Very nice.
And then I emit them in like a really large area with tons of snowflakes so that even if it blows for a long... Because the wind changes directions a lot, it doesn't run out. So yeah, once you get used to the controls, if you're good at platformers, and I think you're a little better than I am at platformers, to be honest, I can definitely get to the end, but you made it look easy.
Well, it's mostly just the wind. Like the wind just carried me.
Oh, I know. But the real challenge is to get a high score, you need to get a lot of acorns and get to the end.
Yeah. I think I like just flying on the wind a little bit. It's just fun.
It's really fun. I know. That's why I think it would have been better suited to get good reviews in a game jam to just set the wind level up as the default. But I was afraid that people would not be able to learn the controls before they're just swept away and they might get frustrated with that. And even though it's a rage game, I didn't want them to have that kind of frustration where they just don't know what they're doing.
I still have a bit of a trouble like preventing the up input on my controller from making me jump. And is the bottom face button on my controller making me jump too? Because I think that's right. But
the what?
The bottom face button on my controller, that's also
jump.
No,
the bottom button is a dive, and you can actually use jump and down to go down by a branch when you're on the tree.
Oh god.
And you can also dive from the air to go like real fast down if it'll help you to like go down and defeat the wind more easily. If it's carrying you away, you can dive really quickly and it helps.
If I hold down and jump at the same time, I just lock into place.
Yes, that's right. You're not the first one to find that little like hack. I wasn't going to say it because I like people to find these tricks on their own, but yes, you are right about that. That is correct. There's another hidden Easter egg in the game that no one has found as far as I know.
Hmm. Also, it
pointed
seems
it
the
out,
audio is
and
cut. Oh, oh, oh no.
wait, the audio cut out?
Yeah, for the game.
Oh, you probably turned it down. So you probably turned it down. So there are a lot of controls in the game, and there are like 4 different buttons on the controller that can turn the volume down.
Okay. It's
And
perhaps the
there's made
shoulder
up muted
buttons.
on the controller too.
Gotcha.
And in the real game, I will have, I'll have button remapping. I won't have like all these various controls that are redundant.
Also, to your statement about using foot pedals, I'm actually like extremely concerned with ergonomics myself. I use a split mechanical keyboard with a bespoke non-QWERTY layout that is like set up to basically make it so I have to move my hands as little as physically possible, just because it's not necessarily about preventing RSIs, although that is the inception of the journey that I took for learning mechanical keyboards, but it's also because it kind of raises the ceiling of what I'm capable of doing in a short amount of time. So I did sort of like end up like my joints got sore during the jam because I was just like slamming it really hard. Like I was just doing so many inputs at once. Like,
yes.
So it was yeah. Foot pedals is something that I am actually like curious about, and that's really cool actually. It's just like whatever, I could do it. Full body experience for coding, why not?
I don't use them for coding, but I could. I could do the mouse buttons with it, but.
Oh, you do mouse buttons? Okay, that makes sense.
Well, no, the foot pedals are 3 on each foot, and basically I started getting them when I was playing League of Legends casually with my friends. So I have two pedals with like 2 sets of pedals with 3 next to each other each, and the middle ones are the mouse buttons, and then the other 4 are like Q, W, E, and R basically.
Tony Blimp wants to know what your high score is.
Yes, I saw that. I was going to get to that. I didn't want to like change the topic too quickly. Yes. I obviously played the game a lot while playtesting and trying to find bugs, but I was constantly like spotting something and quitting the game and going back in, and I made sure you could get to the other side going on the bottom or the top and stuff like that, but like I didn't I stayed up for 33 hours straight at the end. I really didn't have time to like try to get a high score. So probably I think it was like between 16 and 1700, so not very high. I think the maximum high score is like 8,000 at least. So the max score is like 8,000.
You just like put a hard cap of 8,000 on it?
No, it's just how many acorns times. So they're like 106. So you can't get all of the acorns, but you can get like a lot of them. And you could probably get like 150 acorns times, and the storm level plus 2 times 5 is the multiplier. So 12 times 5, that's 60. 60 times 150 is what? Like, basic math is hard, but like
about 900, I think. Maybe.
It's sarcastic, but no, more like 9,000.
Oh, 9,000, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the maximum score is around that. But Pigeon was saying you should try Storm Intensity 10. Is that what you did? Or is
I'm on Storm Intensity 10. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now you can really see like how hard it would be to get all the acorns on 10 and finish. But if anyone does that, I would like to know about it. Screenshot it and send it to me.
Well, yep. We got time. Come on. Okay. No. Oh, X is mute? Oh, shit.
Okay, so the bumper buttons turn the volume up and down, and it's the triggers that do the sprint. If you do sprint, if you do the sprint, I called it dash, but someone pointed out that dash was misleading because newer games,
it's more of a burst option.
Yeah, newer games actually have you like dash forward like a burst, but I was thinking more of like, Super Mario type dash, like a sprint.
Right. And
so if you hold down the trigger, not the bumper, or on the keyboard if you hold down control, you still accelerate slowly because you're on ice. Yeah. A lot of people said the character moves slowly, and that may be true to some degree, but I think the big issue for some people is that you start out moving slowly because of the ice. I may need to tweak those levels a little bit to make it a little less, but I wanted it to feel like ice, how you kind of spin your wheels at first.
Right.
So like when you do the sprint, it doesn't seem like it at first, but you do go faster and you jump way higher. And you can control your jumps in air by turning on and off the sprint.
Okay. Now this is a
thank you,
slick game.
Bad Cop.
Hello, Bad Cop. It's been a while. Did you participate in this jam? Bad Cop was one of the certificate winners from the 2025 game jam. She made Clark the Spark.
Oh, cool.
At least I think you did, didn't you? You were at least a finalist.
Well, thanks. It's really nice to hear good feedback. Like,
That's okay. Yes. Hey, well, Bad Cop. Oh, no.
oh, yeah, all feedback is useful, of course, but it makes me feel inspired or like motivated when I hear good feedback. If people enjoy doing it, then it's like, yeah, that makes me happy.
Yeah, of course. It's honestly cool that yes, Clark, no 2026. Alas. How's it been? We're here with Rue Brie, who is the developer of Bluster. It's her first game jam, so it's been pretty cool. Yes, first. Was this your first video game in general?
Yes. Other than like, simple text adventure type games that I made like in high school. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've never made a game with a game engine before, and I've never made like a graphical sort of actiony game before.
True nerd. Jay goes yes to both though.
But I
yes,
have
yes, yes.
done like a lot of software engineering and software architecting.
Yeah. So what did you find interesting about Godot then, from that perspective?
Well, it just called to me because I love this vision of like introducing this open source 2D. Originally it was 2D like focused more. I mean, they've kind of like expanded it so you can really make 3D games now as well, which is cool. And I do approve of that, but I really like 2D games. And so when I saw that there was like a 2D focused engine that was open source and it had like a
Wow.
like a spunky little community that was like an underdog, and it just felt right to me. I wanted to learn Godot, and I figured if it doesn't work out in the long run to go with Godot, I'll just do Unity. Like some of my friends do Unity, so
Yeah.
Someone said the best thing about Godot is that it isn't Game Maker,
So
which is
Reed-
funny because the other day someone was trying to convince me that Game Maker was the best engine.
It's good for 2D, of course. We know somebody who's built their own 3D renderer in it, which is a bit excessive when stuff like Godot exists. Like, okay, yep, we gotta bunker down. Godot op Game Maker is good. Yeah, it is good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. Although
The funny thing, sorry.
No, yeah, you go ahead.
The funny thing about the person who told me that Game Maker is like the best engine is that right after saying that, there was like a whole discussion where people were complaining about all the things that they hate and that they find frustrating working in Game Maker. So I find that like maybe the Game Maker is the rage game of engines. I'm just kidding. That's fully a joke. I'm not making fun of Game Maker. I've never
no.
I'm just kidding.
That would be RPG Maker, I think. Personally.
Oh yeah.
I tried to force RPG Maker to do stuff it shouldn't do, and it was very, very horrible.
Oh really? I think RPG Maker. I never made a game in RPG Maker, but I helped my partner make an animated Christmas card for a family in Germany.
No,
and,
damn it.
and that we did that in RPG Maker in like a couple days.
That's cute. Yeah.
It was like an animated Christmas card that represented like our house and our pets, and it was really fun.
That does sound
It
very
was
cute.
a little bit like making a simple game, but there wasn't really any coding involved. It was mostly just like, RPG Maker makes it super easy to do like this Final Fantasy style, like moving characters around and talking, stuff like that.
Yeah. One of my friends, Aru, I was just interviewing him last night about his game. That I'm blanking actually on the first word of it. What was it again? Cycle Shifter, I think. And yeah, he made an interesting navigation puzzle game with it, which I think is one of the coolest things about it, since like the RPG mechanics of RPG Maker games are very cumbersome. Like they're just big. Like if you balance around a combat game like that, then you could be there for a while. But honestly, if all you need is to move a few directions, then Yeah, navigation puzzles are really cool.
Yeah.
What was it, Cocoa Beer or something? That was the Python game engine. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I looked like many years ago, like 10 years ago or more, I don't know. I looked at this thing called Cocos 2DX or something that was like a C++ game engine that ran fully in code. It wasn't an engine. It didn't have like the IDE type thing, but it was an engine under the covers kind of thing. They gave you like physics and, you know, stuff
Yeah.
like that, like sprites. And I just looked at it. I didn't actually make a game, but I wanted to because it was in C++, and most of the coding I've done in the last 20 years was in C++. So
Actually, that's funny because I got bullied by somebody to learn C++, and because that's what real game engines use or whatever. And then and then I went onto GameDev.net and then I started a help thread, and then one of the developers of Leisure Suit Larry and Ghost Recon 2, bullied me into learning engine architecture, and then I was just basically I was basically doing a game jam, so it was a school project, and then I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll make a game engine. So I got all the factories and like whatever set up, and then the game was running, and then I was like, cool, it does the engine thing, and then I was like, this sucks. What do I do now? I was like, actually, I don't want to code engines. What the hell is wrong with these people? Get me out of here. So, yeah, I would prefer to make games rather than engines personally, but
yeah. I was gonna say, like, how did they bully you into doing it? Did they threaten to take your lunch money unless you learned game engine design?
it was a very simple problem, actually. I had an overworld and a dungeon like situation, and the dungeons were procedurally generated. This was an MS-DOS, by the way, because it was learning C++ for school, right? So I was like coding this like procedurally generated dungeon crawler, which was extremely overscoped for what I needed to do. The bare minimum was literally just a tic-tac-toe board where you enter coordinates and then it would display the tic-tac-toe board underneath in a new print. But no, I made it like a real-time action game with procedurally generated dungeons and shit. And the problem was that when the character shot a projectile in the dungeon, when they came back out to the overworld and I went back into the dungeon, the projectile would still be there because it was a property of the player. Oh, what the hell? Oh. And the guy was like, yeah, so your problem is that you're making it a property of the player and not just an entity in the world that the engine drives. And that's and then he told me to learn engines. Scrub.
Yeah. I was just kidding with the question, by the way.
Wait, what question?
Well, when I said how did they bully you, like, I was just kidding.
Oh. Yeah, okay, no, sorry.
I was just picking on the wording. Like, I make a lot of, like, quips and so on like that.
That's fine.
But, I was gonna say, Coco's 2DX, somebody asked about if it was the Python game engine, and it was like a C++ version of that. That I was looking at. So I think it was Coco's 2DX instead of just Coco's 2D or something. I don't know. I didn't really use it that much. I just looked at it and it looked cool at the time. But compared to Godot, it's, you know, probably very rudimentary. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe it's great. I have no idea.
Right. So
somebody said that the death sound comes before the visual. Did you mean like from the spikes?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so what I think you're actually seeing is that the character doesn't stop moving. So like the sound comes when you hit the spikes, but then the character just still slides a bit, and I should you know, stick them on the spikes and not let them keep going. So I think that's what caused it to look like the sound came before the actual collision.
Right.
But it happens if you hit spikes and then slide off onto non-spiky ground too. It's like if you initially hit a spike, it makes the sound. What did you mean about the acorn sounds, Pigeon Guy? I didn't know what that question was a reference to. I mean, while you're answering that, I want to say it's funny that Godot is called to me so much because I learned about Python when I was in grad school and starting in the late 90s, and Python looked interesting. I thought it was cool that it was named after Monty Python. That's neat. But like, I looked at it I was like, wait, white space matters in this language? Like that's comfortable for me. Like I've never seen that before, you know, and I mean, proper indenting is important, so it kind of like requires that, which is kind of cool, but it's still weird for me.
The only thing that,
I like
yeah,
I like
because
having blocks so you can see where they begin and end. Sorry.
no, yeah, because honestly, like having come from C++ personally as well, I kind of don't miss the curly braces. I kind of am fine with that. Like, yeah,
really?
why not? Just indent it, whatever, who cares? The only problem that I have with it really is that it's weirdly ambiguous and annoying to like, say you need to make like a very long if statement. They tell you that you can double indent it to continue the if statement on new lines, but that never seems to work for me. It just doesn't. So it's like, what if I need a really long if statement? I guess they want me to just load it into variables and then do that, but that's like more overhead, I think.
Are you talking about GD script?
Yeah, in GD script, that's what I
So
use.
what I do is I put in open parens, and then you press enter after the open parens, and then it'll indent one, and then you can put all the conditions in there, and then you can close the parens on the last line all by itself.
But like I've done like the anonymous lambda functions and stuff, and sometimes it'll work with different indentations, and sometimes it doesn't. It's because the engine does have bugs sometimes. Like that's just the nature of the beast, you know. So
yeah, that makes sense. So I even though I thought Python was interesting when I learned about it, I'm honestly, Python is great for learning. It's kind of like the modern version of what BASIC used to be. Because it's like a simple language that's easy to get into. And I learned in BASIC, by the way. But I didn't necessarily want to do Python. Like, I don't love Python or JavaScript. And it's funny how I see like elements of both in GDScript, and yet I still feel right about using Godot. So I think it's going to warm up to me.
Oh, that's a huge jump.
Now I know that you could use C#, but all the learning material online and all the like examples and
the documentation
all that stuff
and everything.
usually in GDScript. So I just didn't want to make it more difficult by doing C#.
Yeah, I so far have not come up against something that requires that level of granularity, because I mean, I don't really know C# or how I would integrate it or with all the systems and everything, but I know that GDScript is very optimized for what it does. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever come up against that kind of situation, but who knows, maybe. So what did you, like, yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what the more interesting parts of Godot were for you for the environments, because I would imagine that composing everything with nodes is, like, a far cry from what you're used to, I would hope, or I would think.
Yes, it is. I mean, but it's something I totally was able to like get into because I've had to like learn. For example, I've had to learn like how APIs work, in detail in the past. Like back in the day, I was a Palm programmer for a while, like on the Palm Pilot and Palm phones, like a mobile programmer. And that was a really cute, like, cottage industry sort of thing. It was like making games for the Apple II again, because individual people could make like simple little programs, and it was really cool. I kind of wish I'd made like my own programs instead of just being a contractor and stuff. But during that time, like, it was not documented very well, and you didn't know how the API works that well. And we actually got a listing of the source code for like the entire OS. And like we would just look at the source code to figure out how functions work. And so like, learning how the nodes work is kind of similar to like learning someone else's code or learning an API.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And in a couple of jobs, they've handed off like black boxes to me, like code that no one wanted to touch. They just knew it worked and no one wanted to touch it and break something. They handed it to me and they're like, here you go, like, Rue Brie, good luck fixing this, And I've had to like figure out how to make it good.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Oh, thank you for the follow. I can't see who just followed. Oh, it's Alyssa. Thank you. Shit, what was I gonna say? I'm trying very hard to get all of the acorns, but
Good.
yeah, the wind does not want to cooperate with me. It's just going against me this whole run.
Right.
So
so yeah, I think like that. I think it's cool that you have like a cute little animal on your stream there. It's kind of like feels fitting for the game that we're playing.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's a hedgehog, right? Or not?
No, it's a nine-tailed something. A nine-tailed cat head, basically.
Oh, okay, so it's like a mythical
Um,
creature.
But I also have it's mapped to my controller, so it's sort of a way that you can see what I'm doing. And the eyes become stars when I'm holding the A button. So it's like it's concentrating. It's very funny to me.
Yeah, I love that. I actually really like the font that you're using as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the font I'm using in the game that I led the development on, Moonlight Fire. Come on,
Awesome.
let's go. It's hard to tell when I'm about to hit the spikes. Also, nice. I actually managed to get those. This is a risky business.
So going forward with this game, like there are several directions I could take it, but I definitely want there to be like
No.
I definitely want your character to like, get like more tools to battle the wind as you go up in levels and face the higher wind.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to be that you select the wind level on the main menu. I want it to be that, you're playing a game where you have, advancement, but also it gets more difficult and you can improve your squirrel and or raccoon as you go. So yeah, and I also am working on a card game, as I mentioned, because I love card games and deck builder games a lot. I might make like a deck building roguelike or something.
Right. Do the people in your personal life know about your aspiring game dev hobby? Have you showed this off to anybody?
I've showed it to a couple of people, but I don't know that many people that, are close enough to like game design where they like would, generally play like something like this. Like I definitely sent it to like, a few people, and some of the people I know were like really happy about it, but I don't know as many people that are into this kind of stuff, and that's why like I'm just a solo dev. I haven't worked in a team on game design ever, so.
Do you think you would? Or
Yeah, I would. I would have to get to know someone pretty well, I think. Like,
right. Yeah, group projects are a bit of a risky business.
I mean, I wouldn't have to get to know someone well necessarily to do like a game jam game,
Sure.
or like a real game. Yeah.
Right, yeah. You want to trust your team, I would imagine. You should make some sort of checkpoint system where the scroller can compare their nuts. That'd be cool.
Yes.
I'm done for a platform like Hollow Knight Rue.
Yes, I love that, Solus. That's a good idea.
Oh.
Yes, I think that's a cool idea to make a Hollow Knight type game, Solus. It's one of the ways I could take it, so I'm not sure yet. But
Sometimes it's very fun to jump into group projects, strange, but it can be a bit scary. Yeah, for sure.
It can, because it's a long-term investment, to like get into a long project. Like that's why game jams are a good way to get to know, like to suss the old meaning of suss out, not like the new meaning of sus.
Sus.
Like to suss out people to like figure out if you work well with them and all that. Because I learned a valuable lesson when I was in university and grad school, and also in my job, that when you're working in group projects with other people, there's always like 30 to 50% of the people that basically do like nothing at all.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it's a difficult situation to be in. I lost a friend over this once. Actually, I lost a friend over, like, we weren't working on a video game, but we were working on a different type of game, and it kind of just caused some conflict between us. And
Yeah, people problems are some of the hardest, so that's understandable. Come on. Oh my goodness.
of course, I have a dream though of like, starting a game studio or something someday. I'd much rather do that than like, start in the ground floor and go work for a big game company or something. That's just not my thing. I'm too experienced in the software industry now to like start over as an entry person again. There's no way I'm doing that.
No. Dang it. Get back over there. Okay. We're up. We're over. Okay.
For the record, by the way, I've never even played Hollow Knight. It looks cool, but I've never played it. I like the look of some of those games like Celeste and Hollow Knight, and like there's some Castlevania-like ones I forget the name of, and so on. I want to try these games, but I haven't played them much.
Winning game of the year is Joff Helia with Joyce. That's my name. That's Hollow Knight. Live one suburb away from my hometown. Oh, neat.
So I was thinking about having procedural generation in this game, like, as well. That's something I might explore. It's kind of a challenge when it comes to like platformers, because you want it to be like a satisfying platformer and not just like some random junk.
Yeah, I could see that being a pretty challenging thing.
Well, earlier in the conversation, someone mentioned that the wind mechanic really sounds like a software engineer sort of task, and I agree. I like the sort of computer science challenge of like figuring out how to do something like that more than, just coding in a bunch of weapons in a game or like a bunch of levels or something. I don't like repetitive sort of tasks, and I think like obviously when you're doing a game you have to do a lot of that stuff, but like I take more interest in like the interesting systems that you could develop. And so I had a really good time with the wind and stuff. And I think like if I do procedural generation, I'd really like to brainstorm a lot about how I could make that interesting.
Yeah, because it's sort of like you would have to design the system very well, because you're doing secondhand design basically. Like you're not the one designing it, you're designing something to design it.
Yes.
And lack of design can be very frustrating sometimes, or even just like sauceless, like soulless. So you gotta thread the needle. But oh no.
I find that on the higher difficulties and when you're jumping with the dash a lot, when you're jumping around, like it feels a bit like playing pinball, and I find that really satisfying.
Yeah.
Like when you're bouncing off of these, this even looks like a pinball screen.
Yeah. It's just also very I just have to wait it out a lot, and I have to like be very careful.
You don't have to. You could throw caution to the wind, as it were.
Yeah. But I'm getting
I see that I should lower that bottom one by a pixel there, but like that's just a minor thing. I also want to make it so that when you're on a downward slope, it's more slippery. I don't think it does that.
What? No. Oh my goodness. Rude.
Now the rage begins.
It's only rage because I'm trying to get the acorns.
So yeah, if anyone ever wants to play this on stream, just write to me. I'd be happy to hang out and talk about it, because I like getting people's feedback. I like laughing when they get swept away by the wind, and just discussing the game can help me get new ideas, and it's just a happy experience all around.
Of course. I mean, I'm streaming it, but
oh no, I know. I mean in the future too is what I mean.
Of course.
Yes, you're doing it right now and it's amazing. But I mean like, in the future going forward, like I might have like newer versions of the game to try out or anything. We'll see. And what's funny is that, I really started out like this week. I hadn't even set up like an itch profile until I submitted the game.
Okay.
I did have an itch account because I bought like assets on there and stuff. But I did not have a profile at all. Not even like a profile picture of any kind. And even now I don't really have a profile picture. I just have like some falling snow until I figure out what I want to do.
I mean, that's fine too. You don't have to figure everything out right away. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna... Well, I guess I could. I guess I could jump from this side. I've been jumping from the other side so far. Don't even have a pick on itch, yeah. It's been interesting, like, some people just, like, show up for one thing and then they just kind of bounce. Like, people who just showed up in Discord for one jam and then I have never seen them again, even though they're in my spaces and stuff. So, yeah, I guess, like, events bring people together for funny things sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, life happens. A lot of people they get kind of obsessed with an interest and then they move on to a different interest, or...
Yeah. Oh.
I feel like that's pretty normal.
I need to stream myself streaming this game. Oh yeah, of course.
That's like coding a level to code a level.
Indeed.
You're streaming yourself to stream the game. And the whole time you're controlled by AI behind the covers.
Of course. I procedurally generate this.
Inset stream.
Although, our AI is not allowed for this jam.
Oh no, I know that. I was kidding.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this dystopian future. Like people want to use AI for like, to do their assignments and stuff. And I think I said this earlier. I don't think I was on stream though. It's like it kind of misses the point of going to school, especially because if you're using AI to do your assignments, it means you're not learning.
Yeah.
But I think AI is useful for learning because you can ask it specific questions on like a tutor, but I don't trust it to. I don't
It's not
trust
even
AI.
very good at that in a lot of cases, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust AI code. It's not up to the standard of like real code.
The most useful thing it can do is basically do searches for very specific questions that only require a lot of time to parse through.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for very complex questions.
Yes, that's true. That's right.
But
I mean, tutors can also be limited in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
But like what I was joking about was that in today's world, of course, all the corporations have dollar signs in their eyes, and they think that all the big ones, I mean,
yeah,
and they think that they're going to replace all these workers with AI and like, make bank. And I think that, when they don't have any junior people training to be senior people, that could be a problem later.
Yeah.
And I don't think AI can do what they think it can do either.
I animated myself in my mouth shut. Well, the thing is, like, this was detailed in Karl Marx Capital Volume 1. If the workers don't have work, then nobody can buy commodities. So who's buying the commodities? It makes no sense. Like, if you automate workers out, then you have nobody to buy your products. You're just fucked. What are you doing?
Are you professors do the AI twang? I didn't know that.
Hmm?
I didn't know. Oh yeah, they said, is that for grading or for writing the assignments?
Yeah, Mike's school is like cooked. Like, it's insane over there.
I want to clarify, as a computer scientist who almost went into the field of AI when I was in grad school, and I was steered away from AI by my advisor at the time, who said, you don't want to go into AI because it is really in its infancy and it's never going to be interesting in our lifetimes, and they were wrong. But
well, it's mostly being used to depress wages. It doesn't even really do anything productive. Everybody has to like iron out all the shit that they get from it.
Right, but when you're doing research for grad school, it's not about making money, it's about doing research.
Sure.
Like, so really you're thinking of like the companies like not making a profit, but like the researchers so this is what I want to say. I have a deep respect for the technology behind AI as a computer scientist. The technology is not itself evil. The technology of AI is a fascinating and wonderful, it's basically just an exercise in interesting math. It's a computer science problem. It's not, there's nothing evil about it. What's evil is when people are exploiting it in ways that are not ethical.
Sure.
And that's when the big companies come in, that's when you really have to be concerned.
It's like,
or when companies want to, when governments and companies want to like literally like watch everything you do and use AI to judge it. That's like dystopian stuff right out of 1984.
Yeah, they're not using it for very scrupulous means. Let's just say it's like nuclear technology. Like, nuclear technology could power all of the shit we use. That's not really what they built it for at first. They did not have very good intentions. Don't you love the double standards? Can't write a bare CV with AI, that's a bad thing, but jobs can post AI-generated announcements, yeah. And also they like approve and deny applications with that shit as well.
Yeah.
So it's
so when you say they don't have good intentions, like the companies may not, or the governments, but I can assure you that the researchers in computer science did generally have good intentions. I mean, I worked with people like that.
I know that the individuals do, but the way that they get funding though, I don't think the people funding them necessarily have good intentions either.
That could be in some cases true. But until recently, there was a lot of funding just for the sake of like, making sure that we're on the technological cutting edge, just because that's a good thing to do. And so yes, you're right. Obviously, this is a complex and nuanced topic. But I don't like the idea of knocking AI as a concept. It is not an inherently evil concept. It is just that it has to be used ethically, and we need to have, regulations that are, strict regulations about how it can be used, and that's going to be a very painful growing pain for humanity, I feel.
Yeah, it's definitely a systemic-wide issue because they're basically trying to eliminate the labor force. And I'm not just saying the jobs, I'm saying the people. Like, they're trying to kill people, basically. It's rough out here.
I mean, definitely I feel pretty horrible about the future right now. It's not like the 90s when we had like all kinds of hope about the future.
Yeah, definitely a lot less optimistic than Fruitiger Arrow. So yeah, it's bleak out here. It's bleak. Year 2050, trust the algorithm. No need to think for yourself. Sure. Yeah, I
But
went.
like I know the people that are into like AI and machine learning and so
Yeah.
on, and they are like super cool people who just want to like think about interesting problems
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, but it's like they're being exploited. Their curiosity is being exploited. It's like I don't know. It's like Boston Robotics dogs. It's like they always say like search and rescue. It's like you're not gonna be using this for search and rescue, man. I know what you're using this for. These machines will be killing people. That's just what these are for. And it's like, yo, I want a robot dog. That shit looks dope. But no, that's not a thing that we should be looking forward to, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's dystopian, but on the other hand, it's not like we could just say, oh, okay, we're not going to explore this, because if we don't do it, it'll be done. It'll be done by someone, and then we would not be in a position to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, so like you can't really stop the concept of technological advancement. You just have to try and like put guardrails on it to make sure it's ethical.
Yeah.
And that's where we're failing.
That's the major problem. So yeah, I get you there. It's like I wish we could just pursue knowledge and stuff for the sake of it and like do interesting things and solve interesting problems, and it's never going to be used by some horrific like but alas.
Sure.
We discovered fire, and fire was used for very horrible things as well. As soon as machine learning started becoming buzzword AI, everything went into the shitter. Sure.
Yeah, but if it gets knocked too much, then nobody would ever want to become like a rocket scientist, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, you wouldn't go into rocket science research if you didn't, if there was any chance that someone could use it for unscrupulous means, you just could not even explore rocket science. Like, and that feels like a problem. Like, I think society needs to be intellectually curious. In fact, I would say the people that are exploiting AI too much are not intellectually curious enough. They're just trying to get money and control. They don't really actually have the intellectual curiosity that they should have in many cases.
Yeah, for sure. I guess personally, if I knew that rocket science were going to be used for evil, I absolutely would not want to go into rocket science under any circumstances. Personally, so yeah, we have a lot of shit going on, and it's like most of our economy is built on it right now. And right now, all it is for me, I describe it as literally a fidget spinner. Like it does something close to useless, and it's just a novelty for the vast majority of use cases. And otherwise, it's just distracting us and taking up our attention, and it's just being pushed on us as a fad, and it's gonna blow up. Like, it's gonna blow up pretty quick.
Yeah, I agree with Seriushi and Solus, but Seriushi basically said most technology is double-edged sword, or double-sided is what they said, but I'd say a double-edged sword. And yes, it absolutely is. And like, honestly, if you think about any field of like hard science, pretty much all of them could be used to kill people or for ill. Like, chemistry, well, there are chemical weapons. Rocket science, there are like ballistic missiles. Like quantum mechanics or like things related to like the splitting of atoms. Well, I don't know about quantum mechanics, but definitely quantum mechanics could be used to break encryption in the future. And splitting the atom, we know that one. And like, even biology could be used to kill people. So like, I don't think that society should just be like, well, we shouldn't go into hard scientists. We should all just become, literature majors. And but when I was in college, I did do a double major with philosophy. So I do care a lot about ethics and philosophical questions like that.
For sure. Personally, I would love it if we speed ran to good labor relations and ethical practices. I think if we got that out of the way first, then we could do everything else. But unfortunately, we haven't figured that out yet, it seems. Quantum mechanics used to stop 30 years away from lives promising young computer scientists. Yeah.
You say that now until quantum computing actually becomes like something truly impressive, which it could.
And then they put us into the torment nexus. Assuming downsides in AI to be optimistic about further exploration of technology. Sure, the concept of neural network is not inherently evil, but realistic use cases are not worth pursuing IMO. Yeah, because if we get to AGI, like I said, like what do they plan on doing? Nobody's going to be able to buy commodities. So I think that the only remaining option is that capital acquisition is no longer what they want. They just want to literally rule the planet. Like, If nobody
That
else,
may be the short-term goal, but what about, like, you don't think that a Star Trek type future is possible?
I think it's possible, but not under capitalism. 3,000%.
Well, whatever system, like, technological advancement leads to the future of science, and like
Yeah.
it has to go through growing pains, and I hope we're not going to hit the great filter here, the
Yeah.
bottleneck that's gonna
Well, no, that's what I'm
extinct all
saying. This
humanity.
appears to me like the great filter. Like, because for some reason or another, people get deranged enough at a certain level of power that they just become completely detached from any sense whatsoever, and then they're just like, sure, let's pull the ripcord and try to take over the world again. It'll work this time. No matter how many people we kill, it's definitely gonna work out somehow. So now we're all very firmly in Plato's cave looking at wall shadows. Like, we don't even have to do like entertainment industry stuff anymore. People just do it to themselves. And so we got AI psychosis and stuff.
I love that
it's pretty
reference,
rough.
by the way, because I think that Plato's cave
Yeah.
is, like, to me, it's the most iconic, like the most iconic passage in all of philosophy for me.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it is like worldwide, that because of course that's not the only kind of philosophy, but like
I think it's probably a very good condensed version of your social your experiences, your environment shapes your perception of reality. And yeah, currently the socio-political imagination is very handicapped because UBI even is more of just a way to like prop up capitalism again. And I'm just a straight up communist. Like, I think that labor relations completely need to be handed over to workers, or else we're all cooked, like, completely. Major fear is the rip the band-aid off mentality where technocrats are eager to hurt people for the nebulous promise of a better future. Plato is so widely used in university study philosophy, and it's like, yes.
I mean, I would say it's like really iconic in Western philosophy.
Yeah.
And the ancient Greek philosophers were kind of like my focus in my major, but obviously there are lots of good ideas in the Tao Te Ching and stuff like that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use Plato's cave as an analogy for a lot of things. Like, we're very socially alienated, and I refer to it as like the way that we mistreat each other. It's as if we are being each other's wall shadows in Plato's cave, and like in a world of shadows, in a world of caves, I don't want to be the one casting shadows, So I'd rather be forthcoming and honest and forthright.
Yeah.
So,
well, when it comes to pushing back against the idea of technological advancement, I've certainly met people who think that we should just, eschew all technology, just to be like, that's it. We're going back to the forest, and humanity should just unplug and pretend we're happy.
I don't know how deep in the weeds you are on political fronts, but I have this conversation semi-frequently with anarchists, and it's like, okay, I understand that anarchy is not what people tell us it is. Like, there are ways you can do it, but a lot of them are also like, what's it called again? Like,
survivalist.
It's something adjacent to that. I'm blanking on the word, but you get the gist. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure, we can return to. You want us to return to agrarian society? Who's going to be manufacturing the insulin? We need some kind of state apparatus in order to make sure that things are actually being produced. Because and a lot of them are not very theory informed. So it's just like, even Karl Marx said that like after feudalism, capitalism is an extremely productive force. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Like, capital is an incredibly productive thing. It's just that we need to move past it eventually. And to do that, we need to build requisite capital, which requires an industry. So we need industrial methods of production. We need technology. We need things to be automated, or else we will not have a future that is fully automated. Well,
I certainly don't want to go back to an agrarian society because, I mean, dying in childbirth really sucks, right?
Yeah, so I don't agree with those people on that front.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, we need systems, we need institutions, we need mechanisms, we need labor. Labor is always going to be required for anything. So yeah, it's just bleak. It's just bleak because like, I don't know. We need to maintain society. We need to do technology. I agree. We just haven't figured out how to prevent people from completely obliterating everything. China's about to build a dam through the mountains that's apparently going to almost completely eliminate their need for carbon fuels, which is insane. And it's like, we could be doing that. We could easily be doing that. All of this AI bullshit does nothing for our productive capacity. It only concentrates capital. It's the only thing that it does. So
I don't agree with you. That's the only thing it does. Like okay, AI is already helping read radiological scans, so that radiologists don't miss warning signs, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean for more like large language model, like ChatGPT, like generating images kind of thing, like, and also coding. But almost all of that stuff is just for capital concentration. But pattern recognition, that's the strongest thing that it does. That's the best thing that it can do for us at this very moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would argue that they're basically the same. They're aspects of the same technology.
Yeah, it's just not what we're being marketed with it, and it's not its primary use. Like, the AI video thing is insane. It's like they have to spend like what, 5 cents or something per video, maybe more, maybe like $5. It's insane.
My point about technological advancement isn't just, it's not only that we should at least recognize the value in it, but that to recognize that if we don't do it, it's still going to get done. It's not like all of humanity is just going to be like, you know what, we shouldn't do this. I just don't see it happening.
That's sort of the mutually assured destruction argument, though. It's just like, if nobody builds the nukes, or if we don't build the nukes, somebody else will, and so we should build the nukes. And that was a bit of a stressful time for humanity, I think.
Isn't there an Ozzy Osbourne song called "Thank God for the Bomb" that's literally about this? I think so.
It could be. Well, I agree that if you want a state that has any sort of like capacity to exist, you kind of need a nuke, especially if you're not in the capitalist hemisphere. You just need that, or else you're just fucked. Like,
I agree that it's sad, but I don't think, I'm not like an optimist to the point where I think that humanity is just going to be like all like, kindness and roses in the future or anything. But I do think that we could get to a Star Trek sort of society where, if we get to post-scarcity, if there's no scarcity anymore, and if we overcome, like, the truth is, for a while, maybe even a long while, if we had the possibility of having post-scarcity, people would still want scarcity, so that they could be better than others. Like, I mean it. I think people who are really rich would want others to be poor so they can be better than them.
Well, unfortunately, we actually did reach post-scarcity already. It's just that it's not distributed because of that very phenomenon, and that's because of the incentive structures of capitalism.
For food, I think we have. I don't know about all across the board. Maybe.
Maybe not for medicine, but for food, definitely. There's more food than there are humans. Like,
yes, that's
for
true.
food, for housing, like it's all just kind of figured out already. It's just not distributed because it doesn't profit the right people.
I love this point that Cheryushi just made. They said you need to participate in the creation of growth of technology in order to guide it away from terrible paths. I agree, because if everyone with an ethical backbone resigns, okay, they're doing what they feel is right, but then who's left? The only people left in charge, the only people left doing everything are the people who don't have ethicals, or the people that can't quit because of financial concerns or whatever.
Well, they could, I guess. They would just suffer the consequences.
Well, yeah, but what if they have a sick child and they need the money, or that there are, like, life is nuanced, right? Like, there are all kinds of nuanced situations.
Yeah. I mean, just seeding technology that could kill people because you personally have a sick child it's just like trolley problem shit, right?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
It is, but, like, I mean, could kill people. I find these kinds of black or white arguments a little bit.
No, it's only acorns. No.
So could kill people to me is like, yes, I think there's a difference between could kill people through like a long period, like a long chain of like misuse versus like building a literal ballistic missile. Like, those are two different levels of could kill people.
Yeah. Well,
like making an AI program to like generate images could kill people, but it's not going to directly kill people. It's not like making a nuclear missile.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of obfuscating the chain of responsibility, though, because it is being used to kill people right now. It's
See,
used
when
in,
you say obfuscating the chain of responsibility, I hear like that it shouldn't have that nuance, and it's basically a black or white issue, and I just don't think so.
like, but AI is used to kill people right now. Like those technologies are used to kill people with targeting systems that do obfuscate the chain of command, and that's their sole
Right.
purpose.
Right, but chemistry is used to kill people through chemical weapons, but like, are people that are like doing other chemistry like really responsible for that?
Yeah, I mean, like Newton figured out the force of gravity, and you could use that for all sorts of stuff. We have already, you know.
This has been a really interesting discussion, by the way. I didn't expect it at all, and I hope that the people in the audience are not like thoroughly pissed off that we're not talking about the game anymore. I very much would like to talk about the game, but I like interesting topics in general,
Oh, yeah, me too.
and I tend to engage with what topics people bring me. So
Of course, of course.
I have to get away from that a little bit though, because obviously like keeping focused is a good thing too.
I'm pissed off. Yes, that's Arishi.
Be
She's
pissed
always
off,
pissed
very
off.
easy, that's it.
That was a civil discussion that didn't meander. Right. Well, I appreciate good faith discussions. I woke up today and had a very bad faith discussion. So,
Oh really? Okay.
yeah. I talk to a lot of freaks, unfortunately. So, I'm never really like, I'm only as good faith as I'm given. So, that's more a reflection of you, I think. I think the civilness has been good on your end.
Oh, I've spent a lot of time discussing like these kinds of things. Like I've spent a lot of time, in discussing social issues, philosophy, and yes, politics too.
Of course. And we can talk about the game and everything.
If you have any more questions, you don't have to talk about my game. You can talk about whatever you want. It's your stream, but
I'm mostly trying to find all the acorns. But
that's great. I'm glad you're doing that.
I keep getting fucked.
If anyone has any any feedback about like what kind of things you think would be bad for the game or good for the game, but especially bad for the game, I'd like to hear that, because
I will say that I have to wait for a lot of cycles, because the safest option is to just bunker down and wait for the wind to go away.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And the platforming isn't like quite tight enough for me to feel confident in most of my jumps, so I'm just like, oh no, I might get all of this and then I might just fall into a spike, which I did. Burrow into the game of occultation.
Sorry, Magna Remora said, I think the ability to burrow would be a cool addition. And I agree with this because it's already been planned. If you look on the map, there are like little logs and stumps, and my plan is that you're going to be able to go to those and like crawl in. And maybe have other like checkpoints or something too. But about the wind, you're right. Like when you're on a high difficulty level, there's a lot of like downtime where you have to, if you want the acorns, you have to like, it's almost like playing a stealth game. It's very much like a stealth game, but the wind is like, are the people you're trying to stealth by.
Yeah, the wind is the cycle.
Because you have to be patient and you have to like read the cycle, like you said, yeah. And I think like that's why I said at higher levels I want to give the player more tools to combat the wind. Like for example, I want to give you a better jumping against the wind, or probably like the ability to always be able to walk against the wind, so you don't get like locked in place. You can at least walk.
Yeah, more options for the wind would be good. Hunger.
You said the idea of making Terraria by animals. I don't think I'll do that particular thing with this game, but I did have another idea that was similar, that was a little bit similar to the genre of game that Terraria is, and we can talk about that one another time if you want to.
Sure, yeah, of course.
But I do like Terraria though. Believe it or not, I've never played Minecraft, but I have played Terraria, and I just really. I looked at Minecraft and I looked at Terraria, and I like the retro kind of RPG feel of Terraria a lot. It's very cute, and to be honest, I had a moment in that game listening to the music and just watching like the cool silver rain falling and stuff. It was beautiful.
No.
I was on the alternate soundtrack, not the main game soundtrack, but you can set the expansion soundtrack or whatever, and there's some very beautiful pieces in there.
Oh yeah, the Minecraft soundtrack is very legendary for that.
It's funny that you said skins, Solace. So I did not plan skins per se, but I did plan on it's possible I would,
Oh,
especially
shit.
if I made it like a mobile game or something. But I did plan on having like character customization.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely want to have that. I can imagine like a little like a raccoon with an eye patch, like a pirate raccoon. You know, I want to have a pirate raccoon be one of the options, for example.
Oh, yes. The classic. Come on.
A rescue ranger outfit. I love that. Somebody said a squirrel could do the rescue ranger outfit.
I should have waited for the wind. Alas. You will be here forever, Bonejack. That is true. That is true. Listen, the
I
longer...
love chipmunks, by the way. Real chipmunks are like among my favorite animals
yeah?
because I used to have pet dagoos. Dagoos are like little mini chinchillas. They're so beautiful, and they're really smart, and they live for much longer than other rodents. And I love them so much, and chipmunks
Yeah.
remind me of them.
I was gonna say chipmunks live like 20 years or something. It's crazy.
They're just amazing. They're beautiful, and I see them here in Vermont.
They're so silly. They're very small.
Every time I see a chipmunk, it reminds me of my grandfather who passed away, because he used to stay in a camp on the lake, a beautiful place where he would sit above the water and look down a long way, like a nice bird's eye vista view of like, you know, the whole lake with boats going by. And like at night you'd have these like gentle boat sounds like that were really like comforting. And we went to visit him there, and we brought like pistachio muffins. He was really old. He was like, you know, almost 90, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he would fall asleep on the porch, and he had crumbs from like the muffins on him and on the floor. And like there are these little chipmunks, because there are a lot of pine trees there, that would come up and eat the crumbs. And at one point they
On his
walked
face?
right up. They walked right, well, I meant like on his shirt and on the floor.
Okay,
And,
okay.
and at one point they walked right up onto his shirt. And I said to someone like, oh my God, look at this. Like, I hope he doesn't wake up and get freaked out. But then he like opened an eye and looked at me and just smiled and went back to sleep. And I was like, oh my God. Like he's like having a moment with these chipmunks. He's like the chipmunk whisperer, and I love it.
Yeah.
And so we took a picture of a chipmunk while we were there that's really beautiful, and I framed it, and we called it Charlie. And every time I see that picture, I think of my grandfather. So it's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, that's
I
very
love
beautiful. That's incredible. Yeah. Like I said, like humans will pack bond with anything. Like, but also, there's this thing that I think about with animal psychology. It's sort of like we think of a lot of things like that, or like certain aspects that human have, or not humans, that animals have as human-like. But it's like, no, we all sort of like evolved similarly. Like there's a reason that we evolved social abilities and stuff. So we probably had the similar reasons for doing that. So it's like, it's less that these are human-like qualities and more that these are very universal animal-like qualities. So it's just like the fact that a chipmunk can feel safe having food, even from another creature, is just like, yeah, like they just feel safe around you because you're down to pose a threat, and they might even feel affection or something, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think that rodents feel affection. My dagoos were so like one of them in particular would lie in my hands and just be so comfortable, just like nestle deeper and deeper into my hands and just be like really warm and sleepy. And it was almost like a cat purring. They definitely feel affection for sure.
And I've had guinea pigs. They're very social creatures. They're so silly, very silly. Make all sorts of interesting. Oh, actually, did you know that a Japanese scientist recently like found out that birds actually communicate with words?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's fascinating. Also, octopodes, like octopuses. Nobody can decide on the right ending for that word.
I've heard it's supposed to be octopuses, but that's weird. I can just say octopi. I know
I
it's
hate
not
that
correct.
word
Who
so
cares?
much.
Who
It can't be
cares?
octopuses. I refuse.
Yeah.
People say it should be octopodes because of Greek. I took ancient Greek for 2 terms.
It's
so
like
I forgot.
how the past something form of swim is have swum. It's like, nah, fuck that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're also like really intelligent. Like it just this all reminds me of Douglas Adams, like books So Lion Thanks for All the Fish.
Yeah.
And a quick shout out to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's one of my favorite book series of all time. I love it so much.
My favorite detail from that series is how they fly. Do you remember how they fly?
Yes, they just
Yeah.
throw themselves at the ground and miss.
Yeah, it's awesome. You just have to distract yourself at the point of at the point of falling, and then they Chekhov's gun it right at the end of that one book.
That's usually how I fly.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, but I've had dreams like literal, night dreams where I flew in exactly that way, and I was like, oh my god, what, this actually works? Like I'm like I'm missing the ground and flying. It kind of like it blew my mind a bit.
The later books, the very last book I believe had to be finished after he died, Douglas Adams. So I think that
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mostly Harmless, I think. So it was a little bit like weirdly, how do I describe it? Just messy a little bit. they sort of do a bummer ending where I think everything kind of just, everything just kind of.
Well, let's not spoil the ending.
Yeah,
I think.
let's
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Mostly Harmless. I looked it up. I didn't think so, because I read it a long time ago. Like, no, I think you're thinking of this collection of like short stories and unfinished stories that came out after Mostly Harmless. There's like an
I
extra.
remember Mostly Harmless being a bit weird, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, Mostly Harmless was weird, but it was like 10 years before he died.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad.
No, that's all good. I'm pretty sure you're thinking of that other thing, because they're like, if I remember correctly, they're like short stories and unfinished stories in the world.
No.
So they're related.
Goodness. I don't even remember how many acorns that was.
I don't know if I would ever make a 3D game or not. I might try it just for a game jam or something, but I've never really played 3D games that much. And
Right.
I wonder like what people would suggest for me based on my interests and skills, what kind of games they think I should make.
Well,
because
you've
I mean,
played
a platformer
League
cool,
of
but that's not
Legends.
Yes, I have played Guild Wars 2 and League of Legends a lot. But I run a guild in Guild Wars 2, so I've played that game like more than any other game. But those are 3D technically, yes, it's true. But if you think of the number of different games I've played, most of them are 3D.
Of course, this would be a Seishi interest.
My favorite. What's that? Say it again.
Seishi is likes Guild Wars 2. That's all I was commenting on.
Oh, cool. Well, my favorite game of all time, my favorite computer game, not all game, but like of all games, is Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I just really love that game.
Nice.
And I love these kinds of turn-based strategy games like Heroes and Civ and so on. So I was thinking about making something like that possibly.
MMO. Oh yeah, that's definitely easy. Actually,
MMO is not what I would do. Definitely not.
And sorry, yeah, we got away from the topic of this game, but I did want to ask stuff like, how much time are you dedicated to this? This is like a beginning question that I just completely fumbled, my bad.
What do you mean?
How much time were you able to dedicate over the time of the jam? Like, how much time did you dedicate per day?
A lot. Yeah, to get this done in 1 week, I've had to work on it like most of the time that I was awake. Yeah. There were definitely times when I was in Discord and having a discussion about other things, kind of like we did there, like random topics come up, or like stuff like that. But for the most part, I was working on this a lot of the time.
Yeah,
like,
it happens.
It was a full-time thing.
The closer you get to the deadline, the more the time dilation kicks in, as I call it.
Yes, I can't work on it as much as I would have been able to do like at a younger age, but certainly it was like more than 12 hours a day.
Yeah, and then you said that your last couple days were really rough. How did that go?
Well, I just got really, really, really in the zone, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I wanted to deliver something that was really fun and that really was immersive, because I care a lot about aesthetics and feeling immersed in the game. Like the mechanics are the coolest thing, but like being immersed is also important to me. And so yeah, I wanted to fix all the bugs and have it not be a buggy experience. And obviously, it's not perfect for what it is, but I put in 33 hours in a row just because I was so focused on the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's dedication. That's the.
And there were a few moments there near the end where I literally thought I had to sleep because I was gonna like pass out from low blood sugar or something. But like
yeah, same.
I wasn't sleepy enough because how you get like this like feeling. Well, it depends on how you grew up, what you celebrate, what you do. Everyone is different. But for me, this feeling like before Christmas when I was a child, like I just could not sleep. I was too excited. My mind was racing. I was really like wondering what it was going to be like. And, I would be up for like all night. And yeah, so that's what it was like. So I was going to take a nap, but I just couldn't do it. So I just kept working on it.
Yeah.
Name of my guild, someone asked that. Well, the tag for my guild is Snow with a capital S. And,
Nice.
I love that tag in game. But the guild is, there are several guild chapters, and they're all called the Snow Rose and then a word with an R. So like there's the Snow Rose Resistance and the Snow Rose Rebellion and the Snow Rose Revolution. And they're all just like, they were inspired by Star Wars because I love Star Wars and other things.
And other things, yes, I would imagine.
But yeah, but no, I'm really glad that I made the guild. Actually, I was inspired by watching the web series The Guild. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with that. The web series The Guild was really amazing. It was really funny.
Oh no!
And it made me like want to form a guild.
Sorry.
Oh no, Snow Crows. No, I'm not a hardcore gamer in any way. I'm like very casual. Everything for me is about the social aspect of bringing positivity and non-toxicity to games, and that's what my community was all about.
Hooray!
And like, that's really why I'm here, because I formed a community for that, and that's what led me to be on Discord.
Weird time to start being on Discord, unfortunately. They're about to start.
Oh, I didn't start. I started 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, never mind, sorry. But, yeah. What the hell was I saying? I don't remember what I was gonna say. It looks like your pause doesn't actually pause the game.
Oh, you mean like when you try to quit the game?
Well, when I just hit start button, the wind keeps blowing me around.
Oh, yeah. No, start button doesn't pause the game.
Yeah. It's actually surprisingly easy.
It does something, right? Does it?
Yeah,
does
it
bring
up
up?
a menu.
It's like pressing escape.
Yeah.
It's like trying to exit the game. You're right, it doesn't pause the game.
Yeah, it's okay.
I put in that confirmation dialogue there, which is like really ugly, was probably the last thing I added to the game, actually, or one of the last things. And so I just used like the simple confirmation dialogue, the template. I think I took out the borders because I didn't like them, but. Oh yeah, I was gonna put birds in the game, Magna. I like your ideas because a lot of them are like what I want to do. It's really cool that we're on the same page. I wanted to have birds that fly, like kind of go flying in the wind. Like on lower levels, there are birds that fly, but then on higher levels, they just kind of go like squawking by, and it would be just really hilarious. Kind of like in Wizard of Oz, like when she's in the tornado and like. There are all these like chickens flying all around and all this, like a chickenado. Oh, you asked about what if I've played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Horn of the Abyss. I'm familiar with Horn of the Abyss. I have read a lot about it and seen some streams, but I have mostly played Wake of the Gods, which is another unofficial expansion that I really like. Horn of the Abyss is more polished, more professional, and better for multiplayer, but Wake of the Gods is great for someone who just loves the crunchiness of having like a really like role-playing game like experience. Because you have like a hero that actually levels up and your troops all level up and you have like a little minion that levels up with you and all this stuff. It's very fun. I don't actually know if they're compatible with each other. I know that there's a group that is developing an open source version of Heroes of Might and Magic without the assets, because they don't own the assets. You have to add the assets yourself. But it's like an open source version that I think they implemented Wake of the Gods and probably Horn of the Abyss by now as well in there. Did you say please add a poison swamp? That's a funny idea. I don't know how that would fit into this game. Would it be frozen? A frozen poison swamp. Yeah, like, I miss the days when people played games hot seat. And for anyone who doesn't know, hot seat, and it's still supported by games, but a lot of people don't know the term anymore. It means like when you share a seat because it stays warm. So you basically like take your turn and then you get up and someone else sits down and takes a turn at the same computer. And I used to like have friends over every weekend, and all my friends played Heroes of Might and Magic and Civ, like, because we were all gamer geeks and weirdos and goths and so on. And like we would I would have a bunch of friends over. We'd be listening to cool music. We'd go to a sandwich shop and buy like amazing sandwiches and chips and soda or whatever, iced tea, and then we'd sit down and it would be like a really social experience playing a turn-based strategy game. And I miss that so much. It's like if I could time travel, that's something I want to do again. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
And of course you could do it today, but it's not something that's easy to find a group for today.
There we go. Hell yeah.
By the way, is this stream going to be recorded and on your page somewhere? Could you send it to me, maybe?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm going to be trying to be more on top of actually uploading everything. It's a bit difficult because I tend to go all in and just, like, burn myself out just doing this continuously as long as I can.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way you could send me the actual video file, because I actually had someone ask me about it, and they'd like to listen to it, I think.
They want to hear about our ethics discussion.
Sure. Yeah. I have those kinds of discussions with my friends all the time.
Yeah, me too. So I'll be sending.
When you're a philosophy person, you're just used to talking about all kinds of hypotheticals and ethical quandaries, and
of course,
it's like when I was in college, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, computer science and philosophy as a double major. Like, what is that? Is that like the philosophy of computing, or is it like using computers to do philosophy?" And I was like, no, I really want them to be separate majors, so I'm not always doing the same thing. I get bored doing always the same thing. But I realized the thing that is similar between the two of them is that they're both heavily based on logic, and I just really like logic.
Of course. I don't think everything can be described with logic. It's just but it is good, I think, to be personally, to try to be consistent with things, and like I don't know. I sort of have this foolish notion of if you're consistent, then you will probably happen upon the most ethical things. But that really depends on your axioms, right? Because depending on those, you get wildly different results. It's a very bottom-up approach, I think.
Yeah. When I was hanging out in the social issues discords a lot, like, people were like, "Oh, we should do like a podcast," and I never actually like took the time to think about that. So you asking me to do the interview was like I don't know, I'm kind of like bashful in public, but it sounded like a cool idea.
Yeah, of course. I try to give people space to talk and everything. Especially because, like, and this is something that I guess I haven't mentioned as much because I'm used to it by this point, but I mentioned to Solus earlier about how the indie dev experience on jams it can be lonely. Like, sometimes people just don't end up forming a community. They just end up spending a bunch of time on something that kind of just goes in one ear and out the other.
Yes.
And it's like, we're literally the smallest developers that exist. Like, my community friends were asking me just like, "Oh, you want us to recommend games to you? Like, are you gonna like curate like the best ones?" And I'm like, actually, no, I don't want to do that.
Well, that's why I asked about ideas and stuff, because up till now, I've only done solo game dev, not including a single high school project that I did, like I said, long ago. But like, I've basically never really worked on a team for games specifically. Other types of software, yes.
Mm-hmm. But my point is more like, even if somebody's just starting out, or even if their game isn't technically impressive or the most aesthetically pleasing or whatever, like, I'm interested in hearing what people have to say about their part in their journey, because everybody's in a journey, right?
Yes.
I'm not here just to hear the people that went through hell and back, or the people who just found it easy or whatever. We're all on our own journeys, and I like hearing about the journeys.
I love that. That's amazing. That's
Thank you.
actually a really positive outlook.
Thank you. Which is also, and I'll tell the story, I suppose, but my friend Cello made AFX for the BIGMODE 23 jam, and not many people beat the game because it was very hard. So the first one of these that I ever did was me just spending 5 hours in a call with him, beating his game for him, because the game was really good. Like, it was really cool. It was just really difficult. So I wanted to make sure that he saw somebody beat it from start to finish, and I also wanted to make sure that I experienced the whole thing because it was something that my friend made. So I think the longest I've done one of these is like 7 hours, but the longer ones have gone for somewhere between 3 and 5 hours, where I'm trying to just get all of the stuff that they made, because, like, you know, it'd be a shame if nobody did the whole thing. Sum it up, it's an idea and consciousness coping mechanisms that prevents humans to function like other wildlife does and sort of exist in the moment. They don't speak about life's meaning, distract themselves with side quests. They have the instinct to drive for survival, preservation, and prolonging their existence by finding partners that go pretty deep. I see. Human psychology, specifically.
I like these kinds of interesting questions, Magna. It's cool.
Yeah, my philosophy journey has brought me to some interesting places as well. But hopefully not bleak ones. Bleakness
Feel
is...
free to add me on Discord if you are in this chat. I definitely like these kinds of conversations. And
Great. I mean, yeah, you're also in the server too. And most of the people here are actually in the server as well. I think everyone who's spoken so far. Yeah, we've been hanging out a lot. We hang out in the voice call a lot, and we just sort of pop in and out and check up on each other. And Seirishi was on vacation and just suddenly was like, "Hey, I know it's been a couple months, but check it out, I'm on a mountain," and then just streamed being on a mountain. That was cool. Yeah, we've been having some interesting interactions. Unofficial, official BIGMODE jam community. What my friend Lanyon said was something along the lines of, "This is the BIGMODE cool table," the cool kids table at BIGMODE. So
that's funny, because I made a similar joke, like just the other day, except I said that I was at like the uncool table.
Yeah, well, there's no cool table or uncool table. It's just a big table, and we're all in it, you know. The only thing that I don't accept is being a fascist. Being a fascist will not go well around me, I think. So as long as
That's why I never heard of that table in school.
The fascist table?
Yeah, I never heard of that table.
They exist. They're around, you know. So hopefully we can avoid that one. Only fascists.
I
like
guess
fascists,
with the way
yeah.
some of the cliques behaved in school, you could think so.
No, fascists don't even like fascists, dude. Did that ever happen in the Boneyard? No. Actually, kind of, but like, whatever, it's fine. He's no longer with us. He didn't get kicked. He just
When you say that, it sounds like it sounds different than what you mean.
he removed himself. He basically was just like, it was in the wake of the Kirk stuff, right? And he was like, it feels like everyone's demonizing me, and it's just like, nah, dude. As long as you have completely normal opinions about, because like I said about consistency, right? So the assassination of Charlie Kirk was political violence, and it was like horrific and everything, but like political violence is done every single day, mostly on behalf of the priorities of conservatives. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Somebody got killed, and it was fucked, but like, please have that smoke for when black people get killed, or like minorities get killed, or, you know, when we bomb people in the Middle East and stuff. Like, you usually don't have that smoke. Apparently, most of the time you support that kind of stuff. And he basically was just like, I just came here to talk about video games, and I was like, you are free to do so. And then he kept talking about it anyway, and then he said it again, and he was like, I just came here to talk about video games. It's cool video game developers. And I'm like, you are free to do so. And then he left. It was weird. I don't know.
Well, you know, you have to curate your space to be comfortable for you, because otherwise you feel alienated in your own space.
It's not even just about alienating me, because my job as a community organizer is to make sure to keep the peace somehow. And I know that it's sort of like a cliche thing, and sometimes people have negative connotations of it, but you really do, like, even if people disagree, and we disagree a lot. Seirishi, for instance, partook in a like 4 to 5 hour conversation with me about Death of the Author that was with like 8 other people, and it was like, it was really like, it was loud and passionate and boisterous, and we were passionately disagreeing with each other, and it was fine. we can do that. There are limits though, you know, because there's been people that like disrupted the community, and that was an issue. So
Yeah, of course. As a community leader, you have to make sure it's like safe for everyone and that people are feeling comfortable. And it's a complicated job. And as a guild leader and running Discords too, I totally get that.
yeah, Magna had some stuff happen there too with that whole situation because it was Magna's friend. But yeah, I'm totally fine with like casual disagreements and stuff with things that are either like for instance for me, the issue of technology, like the ends justifying the means kind of stuff. Like I think that I don't think that people are gunning for the extinction of humanity or not caring about it necessarily. That's a disagreement that we can have, and it's sort of like the saying like there's more disagreement between communists in the same way that there's more disagreements between architects than there are arsonists. The fascists want to burn stuff down, and everyone else is trying to plan for a better future, hopefully. And you have more space for disagreement in that. So it's just about identifying the breaking points, because those.
That's an interesting take. I haven't heard that before. It's an interesting metaphor.
Yeah, it's rough out here. It's rough. But yeah. Sorry, it's here I am, a squirrel collecting acorns. One must imagine Squirreliff is happy.
We're all just squirrels collecting our acorns, you know.
Yep, pushing my squirrel boulder up a hill. Come on.
We're all just also raccoons collecting our acorns.
Yeah, I guess I'm closer to a raccoon.
Like maybe the squirrel and the raccoon are together, and the squirrel's collecting acorns, and
they hold hands.
And the raccoon has plenty of food already, so the raccoon is collecting acorns also for the squirrels.
Yes. I love animals.
I can tell you this: the squirrels on my porch are happy squirrels.
Hell yeah, animals are so funny, dude. Like I can't get over it. They're just so cute, and for the most part, I mean, some of them are bastards like dolphins and otters, unfortunately sometimes. But like, you know, they're adorable. They're just little babies. Even sharks.
Yeah.
Do you know about the lady with the sharks and the hooks?
No.
There's like a lady who all the sharks come to because they know that she will pull the hooks out of them because they get hooked. And so she just sits at the bottom of the ocean with a chainmail suit, and she pets the sharks, and they'll sit in her lap and stuff, and like they just know her as the hook lady. They're just like, I'm hurt, I need to go find the hook lady.
That's awful, but also sweet.
Yes.
Like it's awful that there's so many of them that are hooked. And then it's sweet that she's actually doing that. I would not have thought of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. She'll reach into their mouths which is full of like teeth and death, and they just let her do it and pull the hooks out, and then they let her pet them. It's awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah, you should look that up if you haven't. Okay. So awesome game. I should probably wrap this up because other people are in the line. So I'm at 43 acorns. I was really hoping that I was gonna be able to at least get like, I don't even remember how many acorns are there on the map.
Well, you don't get score for acorns. You get score for getting to the end with acorns.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah,
but
like 43 acorns is just 43 acorns, but I don't know, which storm difficulty are you on?
10.
Okay, so if you get to the end, you'll get like I think it's 70 times that.
Right. And how many acorns are there on the map?
About 150 that you can get.
150. Okay, so like almost a third of the way there. I'm going to try to get to the end with a third on this run. I'm just going to play it safe as much as I can, and we'll see how much I get. I've not gotten all the acorns to get on the grind. Yeah, like I said, I try my best.
Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. I had a really good time. Please do send me the video and or audio if you can.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And maybe just the audio. Well, but either one is fine, but the video file might be very large. And maybe put somewhere I could download it or something.
What is happening? Oh.
You're above the screen.
Oh god.
It doesn't make it so you can't go beyond the top of the screen.
Yeah. It's just that the camera wasn't moving to the left, so I didn't know where I was. I was just like, why is the wind not blowing me? Where am I? What's next to my sample deadline?
So the other person that's that's going to be interviewed, are they going to come in and so I can pass it off to them when they come in, or how's that
Yeah,
work?
yeah. Normally we only have one person in here. Since you guys sort of came in here at the same time, I didn't mind just like having you both since one of you just muted. But yeah, I'm not exactly like the most like tightened up streamer in terms of like getting everything ready, so I didn't like inform everyone like, hey, don't go into the channel yet, because somebody walked in last night and they were like, oops.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't realize that because I was here earlier with when you were doing the other interview, you know.
Yes.
But I tried not to talk much because I felt like I was taking away from the interview by talking. But I so wanted to make like more jokes because I just love doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like 97% coffee and quips.
Yeah, I'm not a joyless communist. I'm a joyful communist. So I get it. Yo, the Trevor Diesel dev respond. Oh, really? Shit. Wait, did they say yes though? That's the question.
All right, well, cool. Thank you so much. Good luck. I will continue to hang out and yeah.
You can stick around until we. No, let's stick around. Let's stick around.
Okay. I just don't want to be the reason why they're not coming in.
No. They're not coming in until I'm to the end of this level, and then I'll just be like, hey, let's go. But yeah,
Alright.
Bino is back. The first interview I was supposed to do today, they had a thing come up, and so they. No, no, damn it.
Rage game. It's in the name.
Well, we got pretty far. That was over a third of the acorns, even though we didn't get to the end, so I guess it doesn't count for anything, but it counts for something in my heart.
It's like being kept up after your bedtime, Magna. Like, it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go to bed, and then it's like, no, stay up for another 15 minutes.
Of course. We were on
I'm the type of person who's pretty easy to convince to stay up.
We were on a journey through the Vermont wilderness to skip to the end of this level, which I could have
Yes.
done. Oh, shit.
Those are not solid. This is a pixel perfect representation of Vermont.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I can see Bernie Sanders over there. He's chilling with the mittens.
I mean, I suppose you could name your squirrel that. I feel like that fits him. Or maybe the raccoon. I'm not sure which one.
Wait, sorry, what?
Oh, I said you could name your squirrel or your raccoon that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh.
You're getting impatient.
Yeah, impaled. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Rue Brie. Bluster, great first game. Like you.
Thank you so much.
I can tell that you put a lot of effort into it, especially being unfamiliar with the tools and everything, because yeah, like interpolating the wind direction, for instance, like that's a very good touch that people who are just like starting out mostly like don't have the mind to consider. So yeah, good attention to detail.
Yeah, it makes me so happy to get that feedback because, initially, like, I just wasn't sure if people would even really play it because I only had like a few reviews for a couple of days.
I mean, yeah, it happens, but I'll be making sure to review and rate everything. You don't have to rate and review my game, but yeah, if you want to. But
what is your game?
My game is called Moonlight Fire. And you'll see it when I comment because all of our comments have our games underneath them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to like commit that to long-term memory or anything.
That's actually smart to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that because I'm relatively new to HIO.
It does it automatically. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, cool. That's neat.
So yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you for joining me. Oops.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.